What's going on? How's everybody doing today? CJ Halleck with CJHalleck.com and digitalbag.com. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing the different criteria and things to look at when trying to decide who your target market is for your website and your new brand. So let's get into it. Alright, sorry for the delay there, having some issues with the software, it looks like. But anyways, when it comes to your target market, the reason why your target market is so important is once you truly understand who your target market is, putting the content out when it comes to marketing, your blog posts, your images on Instagram, your tweets, like everything, it helps you better understand how to construct and create that content as far as what to share, when to share, like all that stuff, because you know exactly who you're going for. So, it's a story I like to tell a lot. I had a friend of mine that was starting a mattress company, and when I was talking to him about his target market, he said that thing that everybody, thinks at some point, a lot of people do at least, that, well, if people sleep, they're my target market, right? Yes, sort of, but unfortunately, when you tear it down, not necessarily, right? So when it comes, and I'll stick to the mattress example to kind of get this idea across. When it comes to selling mattresses, you have to understand what kind of mattresses are you selling. And for the example of my friend, he was selling like super high-end mattresses. And so when I was talking to him about it, you really don't need to push to everybody, because people who don't earn $40,000 a year are not likely to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a mattress. They may come tax time or something, but the chance of that is slim to none. So you need to understand you need people in a higher financial bracket. So in looking at that, then you're like, okay, now who's, so there's basically there's three things when it comes to a target market that you need to understand. You need to understand the demographics, right? Like who they are, how old they are they men, are they women, all that stuff. Their geographics, which is their location, where do they live, where do they work, and then the psychographics, what makes their brain tick, what are they interested in, when you compile all three of them together, you may understand, for a mattress store, you may realize that the person who makes the decision is the mom. The person, it's a mom, target market, let's say her name is Susan. Susan's 48 to 52 years old. She has two kids. They're in college, so they're not at the house. And you can really dig into that when you truly understand your target market. Having that information allows you to know, if you're selling motivational gear, motivational swag, t-shirts, stuff like that, it may be better for you to be primarily on Instagram if you're, and because you can target, you have a better understanding of your target audience may be there, right? Because there's so many motivational type accounts and things of that nature. People follow a lot of those, consume a lot of that content. So, and then if you look back on another direction, if you're doing let's say a mom blog, then the one platform that you cannot afford to miss is Pinterest, because Pinterest is predominantly women. I'm not saying that you can't target people on Pinterest for, a mechanic, because there's plenty of dudes on there as well, but you understand that, especially with Pinterest, you can niche down, like micro niche down to a specific demographic based on like the titles of the boards that you create. If you're a mom blog, then you need to like reverse engineer this stuff, because if you understand that the people who are reading your information are, let's say, stay-at-home moms, then you may want to start creating boards and content around things that would help them in their home. For instance, DIY, small, quick, clean, without a big cleanup type art projects for the kids. This is something you can do with your kids for 30 minutes, after you eat lunch or whatever, that'll keep them busy, and it's, really easy to do and, easy to understand, whatever, right? So there's so many different things you can look at. So when you look at your target market, and it's like when I'm looking at Pyroplax, my wood burning website I'm building with the Blitz Challenge and going through all these videos with, I know like my target market's a little stretched because one, it's art. And of course you have to get into that whole artist subjective, like whatever mindset, but you also have to realize like I've done, my target market's going to vary because I've done, the Joker, Heath Ledger is the Joker. I've done Bob Marley. I've done, actual portraits, whether I go from the portrait piece I did of Gary Vaynerchuk's daughter, the Bob Marley piece I did for Alex Lambert from American Idol, to the kid who showed up while I was burning at a yard sale and wanted, Count Dooku from Star Wars, right? So there's a lot of different avenues I can go. I've done, a cool piece with Negan and Deadpool. Those are the only two full colors I've done up until this point. But so, I can pick my niches as I go along. But overall, I understand that because of the prices I have to charge, because of the time I have to put in, it's not something that someone who makes $20,000 a year is going to be okay with spending, let's say, $150 for a custom art piece, or higher or lower. I'm not sure my price points yet, but as I go through that, that's the things you have to kind of think about in the back of your head when it comes to target markets. That being said, please be sure to check out the target market blog post on digitalbag.com. Go to the blog page, type in target market in the search box. It'll pull right up for you guys. It goes a lot deeper into detail as far as how to do the research, to find what your target market is. And one of the things that I did put in the blog post that I haven't really covered up until this point is, not only do you need to think about who your products or services are for, you need to understand who is the person that's making the purchase. Because there are some points where, if you have, let's say, a swag line that's, let's say you have hoodies that have like references and stuff to video games, Fortnite or whatever, big game is coming out, there's so many of them. But anyways, if you're doing stuff like that and your target market is the younger crowd, then you need to understand, one, of course you need to market to the younger crowd, but you also need to market on the reverse side to the moms or the dads that are making the purchase. And that's, kind of like I said, when you niche down your target market, you start figuring these things out, you start thinking outside of the box, you might realize, putting a blog post up on your website may need to change a little bit in what you're posting or, the content that you're putting out based on who's actually going to make the buying decision. And, as well as the people who are using the service or products. Is it something that's given as a gift? Is it something a person would buy and use themselves? Is it something that, a person, if you do something and somebody might, from time to time, I'll do, like I used to do business cards a lot, but I'll do websites now, time to time, where I'll donate a website. Like, here's you a website. Average value is, whatever the package is. Let's say it's like a $1,500 package. And you can raffle this off or auction this off, silent auction, whatever, and keep 100% of the profit. And And so, you can understand when you go through that stuff to actually how you can get in front of people in ways that, because I know there are people, when you get to the silent auction stuff, and a lot of the fundraisers and things like that, when it comes throughout wherever you are locally, the majority of the people who are there backing and helping with the fundraiser and stuff like that are people in the business community. So I know doing a website, it may not be a lot, it may end up being 10 hours of work that I have to donate my time towards, but that could be, hey, I've had probably 3 websites last year, maybe 4, that were 100% come from me donating, whether it's business cards or website, or I've done like 1-hour social media consultations, like different stuff like that, because I understand that's where my target market is. So be sure to pay attention to that stuff. I'm not going to ramble anymore. Thank you guys so much for trusting me with this stuff. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like what you see, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. Y'all have a great day. Be great. Stay boosted. CJ Halleck with CJHalleck.com and Digital Bag. Y'all have a good one.